Hey, Nikki, I just wanted to ask you a little bit about Madison.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, she's a player that's a five-star recruit, comes in, and, like last year we see Rikia step in, and she's scoring 15 points a game. Um, when it comes to Madison, obviously she's playing maybe a different role than that this year. When you have a player like that that comes in with that kind of, for lack of a better term, recruiting hype or anything like that, how do you kind of manage that, and what's kind of your process in terms of developing her in a role this year that may kind of change in the future as well?
I think the biggest thing is, understanding what she does well now and what she brings to the table. Madison is an intangible player. She rebounds, she has great energy, and she's aggressive. And when she's doing those things, it helps us. She's one of two players that consistently pursues the rebound. You can see when something good happens, she's got great energy, and it's contagious. She is continuing to develop. We're developing her from a 3-point standpoint. We're developing her from the standpoint of getting to the basket and being more under control. But that's all coming within what we do. I like where she is. She plays hard. She makes a mistake defensively, but that's going to happen as a freshman. But, when the amount of minutes that she's getting, she's going to have to go through those mistakes and kind of learn from them as we continue to play. But don't ever question her effort or energy.
Next, we're going to go to Courtney Robb.
Hi, Coach. Just after yesterday, and obviously this season, specifically in SEC play, a lot of close games. Is there any specific part about your defense right now that you just feel like your team is having trouble comprehending or just kind of, buckling down and doing?
I just think over the course of 40 minutes, you just got to stay locked in to the scout. I mean, that's all it is. You got to buckle down, and you have to guard, and you have to really stay locked in to the game plan. And over the course of 40 minutes, that is forgotten. And again, when you have players that are in this situation that have not been in this situation, it takes time. It takes time. We're 5 games in to SEC play. Non-conference and SEC play is a little bit different, just because we know, the teams are familiar with everybody and they're trying to exploit mismatches and things like that. But you have to be locked in for 40 minutes. You got to keep the ball in front of you. We're a team where we're capable of doing that. We're not doing it consistently.
Next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Nikki, this is a A&M team that's returning a lot from last year, and they're picked top half of the league and competing for a league title as well. They got upset last night. It's kind of the nature of the SEC so far this season. What have you seen from them, before that game and even from last night that's concerning you, and what are some challenges that you're seeing from them coming up this weekend?
I think the biggest thing is they're very experienced. Number one, I think their transfers have really impacted their team. They don't do anything different. Now they just play more team ball. Everything ran through Kennedy Carter last year. Now they're playing team ball, and you got a lot of players that are very confident. All 5 players on the floor can score the ball now. And, they can score it in different ways. The biggest thing is our running theme. We got to be able to guard the ball, and we got to be able to, box out. That is something that we got to consistently get better at. And it is multiple efforts in that, and that's it. I mean, for me, it is those things, guarding the basketball and rebounding the basketball.
Another thing I was going to ask is you brought up Kennedy, and last year she didn't play against Mississippi State at home. She was injured, and the team just looked a lot different without her. And a lot of times when you have a superstar player like that, it can take away from some of the strengths that you have on that team. Do you feel like this team has shown kind of their true ability without her? I guess is the best way to say it, because it just seems like they're being able to flourish a lot more with some other players getting opportunities.
Oh, definitely. I think anytime you don't have that player that draws that attention and that demands the ball, it's good for your team, because now you get a chance to see what they do. And I know, in particular, this game here last year was a nail biter, a game winner. But this team is playing better. They have 5 people on the floor that can score the basketball. They are a confident team. They have experience, and then they have depth. Their transfers really give them an identity, off the bench in terms of what they like to do. Not a team that really pushes it a lot in transition, but when they do push, they're very good, but also they get into their sets and they get production from the people that they need to within what they're doing.
All right, next we're going to go to Joel Coleman.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey.
I know we've heard the last couple games, I guess, talk of just finishing the games, playing the full 40 minutes. That's things that we hear in basketball a lot. And I guess how do you go about coaching something like that? Is it just a maturity, got to grow up kind of thing, or is it something that, in practice, you work harder to improve condition? How do you go about coaching out a full 40 minutes from your team?
It's just experience. You got to have experience on the floor. And, we don't have that experience that most teams have to close out games, and that is being locked into the scouting report for 40 minutes. First half, we did exactly what we wanted to do in terms of, how we wanted them to score and how we wanted to attack them. And then the second half, again, over the course, you got to stay locked in for 40 minutes, and we just fell short of that. We gave them the shots that we didn't want them to have. Paint. They had 2 points in the paint in the first half. They finished with 30. And they're a team that is either threes or layups. Okay, they got threes in the first half. We took away the paint, and we were up by 11 or whatever. Second half, we gave them both. You cannot give a team like that both. And but that again is staying locked in and understanding over the course of 40 minutes what you have to do to sustain and win games.
Next, we'll go to Tyler Horka.
Nikki, kind of going off of what Joel was asking, the last few games, how would you assess the level of effort your team has given? They've been beaten to some rebounds, some loose balls, and it just seems like watching from where we are, there might be a lack of intensity, but I don't know if you see it the same way.
I don't think it's a lack of it's effort. It's just getting a second effort to get to the ball. When we have to rotate defensively, and I've said this, we got to go find somebody, and we get lost a lot when we have to rotate defensively and finding that next person, to box out. But rebounding is something that again requires second effort. We got bigs on the floor. We just got to crash. Other than Jessica Carter and Madison Hayes. Those are the ones that are consistently going. I know early on, Mingo was getting in there, but we're asking her to get back, because people are pushing it in transition. So we need Sydney, we need Rakia, we need Jessica, Madison, Yamaya just to continue to rebound. But Sydney and Rakia, we need them on the boards more to get more extra possessions for us, and I think that would help us.
We're going to go back to Robbie Falk.
Coach, you mentioned the last couple of games that y'all had struggled against the zone, against Ole Miss and Florida. Christy mentioned that y'all were having some success last night. She felt like that y'all were getting some easy buckets against their zone switch to man. Did you feel like y'all did a better job offensively against the zone defense, and was that something that y'all were kind of working on the last couple of weeks?
Well, definitely we did. We knew that pace of play was going to be critical. As you can see, we completely controlled the pace of play. And we worked on that. We knew that they were a team that could come out and do a three-quarter court back into a zone. They showed a lot of zone, so we were still able to be fast within our zone, and we were able to get interior shots as well as outside shots. I thought when they went to their man, we didn't move the ball as much as we moved the ball against the zone, although we still shot a really good percentage. We just didn't move that ball, and there were lulls there where we took those quick shots and we were not getting stops, and that kind of hurt us. But yes, we did work on our zone. We did work on our pace of play the last 2 days, and we just didn't have that, the second half. We didn't have that pace of play in the second half.
We're going to go back to Courtney Robb.
Coach, kind of just following up on what Tyler was talking about, I believe it was after the Ole Miss game, you mentioned you didn't want to have to coach effort. How often or how much do you feel like you're having to coach effort out of your team?
Well, our team, they play hard, without question. We got to continue to get better, in practice and in spurts when we're not hitting shots. I think sometimes, when we're not hitting shots, that deflates us and we don't get after it on the other end of the floor. And those are the things. You got to have tremendous energy for 40 minutes every possession. That's when I'm challenging our team. Even when things don't go right on one end of the floor. You got to get a stop here, then you got to go get a score here, but it's how we want to score. Sometimes we miss a wide open layup. That takes the energy out of our team, So it's those things where, we don't have the fans. We don't have 10,000 fans that are, energizing us. So we have to find that energy within ourselves. And this has been a learning process and a growing process. It's something that we have to continue to evolve, as a team, every game that we play.
Thank you.
We're going to go to Ben Portnoy.
Nikki, I know you guys are taking things game by game, and there's kind of a layoff after this one, but y'all are looking at, I think, 4 ranked teams in the next 5, and a pretty tough stretch here now heading into the heart of SEC play. I guess just after last night, I mean, how much do you feel like that can be a wake-up call, if at all, heading into a stretch like that? And how do you kind of prepare your team for a stretch like that when you've got kind of the teams that you've got in front of you, starting with A&M and then South Carolina and Tennessee?
For us, it's always been our practices. We focus on each practice. That is the biggest thing. And again, just continuing to evolve, in practice so that, we're confident going into games and being prepared. I thought we did enough to win the game against Alabama, clearly. But over the course of 40 minutes, we just have to make your team aware. We'll watch film today before we get started on Texas A&M, areas that we fell short so that they can see it. And then hopefully we can grow from that. And that's all you can do. Offensively, sometimes sometimes we have offensive struggles. And then sometimes we have defensive struggles. We got to get consistent. We got to be consistent to where we're moving forward on offense and defense. That's going to help us in this next stretch. But it starts today in practice.